Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Tanelia and this is Raw Beauty. Today we have a very exciting video. We're going to be doing a look using the Raw Beauty Kristi x Pur Cosmetics Pressed Pigments palette. I have actually already filmed this video. I filmed it this morning before I left to go to work, but I didn't like the way the video came out. I was in a hurry, I was rushed, I was in a time crunch, and because I was in such a hurry, because all I kept thinking was I need to get this video done before I go to work. I wasn't enjoying the process, I wasn't relaxed, and I left out a whole bunch of information because I was in a hurry to get it done. I completely forgot to talk about who Kristi is, and Kristi is the most important part of this. She's the person that helped to create this palette. This is her collaboration, and I completely forgot to even talk about her. So I thought the best thing to do was just to wait till after I got off of work when everything was calmer, a little more quiet. I wasn't rushed and in a hurry, and I could enjoy the process. So here we are. I'm going to recreate the look that I did this morning. I used just the neutral side, so it was this really grungy, mustardy look that I absolutely love how the look came out. I just was not happy with the process of getting there. This is the palette. This is the box that it came in. The artwork on the palette is the same as the artwork on the box. On the back, you have all the shade names. There's a neutral side and a colorful side, like I said. In the top, she talks about the palette. You have all the ingredients and information down on the bottom. This palette is talc-free, it's paraben-free, it's cruelty-free, and it is vegan-friendly. There's a picture of Kristi right there. She actually did her own makeup for the promo pictures that went along with this campaign. If you don't know who Kristi is a YouTuber. She's a beauty influencer. So unproblematic, drama-free, sweet, kind, funny. I absolutely love watching her channel. Her channel was one of the first ones that I started to follow when I first started getting into makeup. A couple of months ago, she announced that she and her husband were expecting the first baby after years of infertility. They didn't think that they were ever going to have a baby, and then miraculously, she became pregnant when they weren't even trying. And then on top of that, she has hit 1 million subscribers on her channel. I think she's been on YouTube for 6 or 7 years now, so that is a huge milestone for her. And then on top of that, she has her palette to celebrate. So a lot of wonderful things have happened for her this year, and she 100% deserves every bit of it. This is the palette. All the artwork on the palette, Kristi drew herself, so she 100% designed this palette. And like I said, the palette is double-sided. So on one side, you have a neutrals, and there's a big mirror, and then you flip it over, and you have a colorful side, and another mirror on that side too, which I absolutely love the fact that she put a mirror on both sides. And this is like, it's not like big and bulky. This is actually pretty compact. You can store this like pretty easily. Usually whenever you see me working with and doing first impressions of an eyeshadow palette, I do like live swatches going down my arm. But because it's a pressed pigments, I went on ahead and I pre-filmed my swatches ahead of time. Like I said, this is a pressed pigment palette, not an eyeshadow palette. One thing that you will see listed with pressed pigments is that they will say that they're not eye safe. That does not mean that they're not just safe for the eyes. It's not going to burn your eyelids out or anything like that. They have to put that warning there because pressed pigments, unlike a regular eyeshadow formula, can tend to stain. That's something that you will notice in my swatches when I get ready to drop them in, that I did have a little bit of staining. So that's why I went ahead and pre-filmed them, because I didn't want to have like stains going all down my arms and maybe stains in my fingers, after doing them live swatching. But let's go ahead and take a look at the swatches, and then we'll come back and we'll put together our eye look. So this is the neutral side of the palette. There's some really pretty grungy shades in here, like this one right here, this one. Those are really, really pretty, like deep, grungy, mustardy shades. This mustard yellow right here. But from left to right, we have Camelot, It Just Does, My Whole Heart, Copper Boxes, Golden Ticket. Golden Ticket is the only shimmer on this side. Moo Point, B, Told You, and You're Not My Real Dad. And if you watch Kristi's channel, you know what all those names mean. But this is the neutral side, and this is the rainbow color side. I will say that these shadows were like a little bit powdery when I did the swatches, and a little bit patchy, so some of them I had to kind of go over a couple of times to get them the pigment that they are right now. But the pigment is really, really nice. They do stain. As you can see right there, I have staining on my fingertips from these, but these are pressed pigments. Like I said earlier in the video, they do stain. But from left to right, we have Flavor Town, Golden State, Tribute, Am I Orange, Cafe Disco. Cafe Disco is the only shimmer on this side. Side Effect, Dandelion, Hurtful, and Lumos. So that's the colorful side. The one thing that you will notice is that on either side of the palette, neutral and this colorful rainbow side, there is only one shimmer on each side. I love a matte formula. I love a matte base palette, but I do wish that there were a few more shimmers between the two sides, but so far, I am really liking the shades, and I am looking forward to putting together an eye look. Pulled you guys in a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing when I actually start putting together this eye look. All of my face products are already done. Foundation, powder, blush, highlight. Everything will be in the description box below. I decided to pull out my Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. I have not used this in a while. I only got this because Tati Westbrook said that it was the best foundation she ever used. It's not for me anyway. In person, it's like, it does not look smooth. I do not like the way that it sits on my skin, but it actually looks really nice on camera. Maybe that's the reason why she loved it so much. I've only used it a couple of times. I didn't really like the way that it looked either time, but like I said, it looks really nice on camera. So I may decide to use this as just my filming foundation. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyelids real quick with my Juvia's Place Concealer. With this being a pressed pigment palette and the fact that pressed pigments do tend to stain, you want to use a really good primer or concealer to prime your eyelids. That will help minimize staining. I usually do not get staining, but with these, I did notice a little more staining than normally happens. So I kind of want to make sure that I lay down a really good base on my eyelids before I start to lay these down. So for this look, like I said, we're going to stick with the neutral side. This mustard yellow, these like army, just grungy greens. Oh my God. When I did the look the first time, they performed beautifully for me. They blended out so well. I did have a lot of powdery fallout. I think I mentioned that in the swatch video. So just go in and lightly tap. You don't have to like swirl a lot. If you swirl a lot, you're going to end up with a whole lot of powdery fallout. So just tap in gently and you're going to get plenty of product on your brush. The color side, I am going to save for a future 2 Looks 1 palette. That's either going to go up next week or the week after. I have some other products that I ordered that are coming in that I'm wanting to do videos with. So it just depends on what comes in, what gets done first. You know how it goes. So we're going to dip into this Camelot shade first, which is that really beautiful mustard yellow. And we're just going to lay that down over the lid as our transition shade. I am absolutely loving just how grungy these shades are. I have yellows, I have greens, but I don't have anything like this in any of my other palettes. And I've built up a pretty decent collection, but I don't have anything that's just deep, rich, beautiful, grungy shades like these are. And it is blending so well over that concealer. The only downside of this being a double-sided palette with a mirror on both sides is I can't take the mirror and like flip it over backwards. But we're going to go next with Copper Boxes, which is this really pretty grungy kind of an army green there. And then we're going to go into B, which is the deeper, grungier green underneath. We're going to take this and it's going to go right into the crease area. These just blend so beautifully. You know, you have like that powdery kick up in the pan, but you just like, you know, scoop it up onto the brush and it just blends like butter. I am really, really loving this formula. Like I said, I loved how the look came out when I did it the first time, but the process to getting there, I was just all over the place. It's like just knowing I was on a time crunch. My mind was just like not in the video. All I kept thinking was I need to get out the door. And I didn't like that. I don't like feeling rushed. And especially for something like this, because, you know, I absolutely love Kristi and I really wanted to showcase this palette the best way that I could. And I just was not doing it in that video. And now we're going to go into B, which is that deeper, grungier green. And we're going to put that on the outer corner just to kind of deepen that area and smoke everything out. I mean, look at that. So beautiful. I don't think I've ever done like a nice, rich, grungy look like this on my channel before. I've done a lot of neutral looks, but I think this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. And I am loving it. Just look at that. So beautiful. I'm definitely looking forward to playing around with that colorful side. I noticed that the colorful shades were the ones that gave me a little bit more staining. The neutral ones didn't stain as much, but I did get like just a little bit of staining. I'm just taking my brush and just holding it on the very tip of the handle just so I can lightly blend it in. Just pulling it out just a little bit more. I am in love with this color story. I'm going to take a thinner brush. I'm going to go back into copper boxes and I'm going to lay a little bit under my lower lash line just to kind of tie everything together, just to add a little bit of smokiness on the lower lash line. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of the B shade and lay that just right here on the outer corner and connect it to the top. Really, really close to that lower lash line. Now I'm going to take a small flat brush and I'm actually going to flip over to the colorful side and I'm going to use Cafe Disco, which is a shimmer in the middle. That's the only thing about this palette that I didn't like was the fact that there was only 2 shimmers, one on each side. Take that, lay that right here in the inner corner. I picked this one instead of that golden shimmer on the neutral side because I wanted something a little more bright. I wanted a little bit more brightness in that inner corner area. So that's why I chose Cafe Disco, which is kind of an icier shimmer over the more golden. And that is my neutral, grungy eye look complete. I'm gonna go off camera, do liner, lashes, throw on some lips, and then we'll come back and we'll do some final thoughts. And we're back. Liner and lashes are done. I lined my eyes using my Urban Decay Perversion liner. I decided to go with a bigger wing today to go with this kind of a grungy look that I put together. And I'm wearing my Hello Doll Natural Cat Eye Light Tony 3D Mink lashes. These are 100% handmade. You know how much I love my Tony lashes. And these only cost me $1. I picked these up from the Dollar Tree. Best buy ever. I line my lips with my Colourpop pencil. This is in Bumble. It's a nice little nude shade. And my lip shade is the LA Colors Velvet Lip Mousse. This is in Souffle. I thought this would be such a pretty combination to go with this grungy eye look, and it all came together. I am absolutely loving how it looks. There were also eyelashes that were part of this collection. I didn't grab the eyelashes. The only thing I was really interested in was the eyeshadow palette, or the pressed pigment palette rather, and these are so beautiful. I love these grungy greens and this mustardy yellow and just how everything blended together beautifully. She did such a good job putting this color story together. The only downside, like I said, is that there is a lot of kick up, so you just want to go tap lightly into the pigments. You don't want to like go ham in there or you'll have like powder everywhere. And I do wish that there were some more shimmers. You guys know how much I love a matte formula, but I would have loved to have seen at least 1 or 2 more shimmers on either side just to kind of balance it out more. But other than that, I absolutely love it. I'm looking forward to doing my 2 looks 1 palette and playing around with the rainbow colors on this side. I'm very, very excited about that. I'll put the link for Kristi's launch video down in my description box below. That way you can go back and watch it and you can learn more about her and how she put the palette together and why she came up with the shade names and what they mean. All the shade names in the palette have some kind of special meaning to her, and she talks about that in her launch video. From my understanding, this palette is limited edition. She did the initial launch, which was about 3 weeks ago, and then there was a pre-sale for a restock. Those palettes are going to go out in August. I don't think this palette is going to come back in stock after that, but hopefully they'll bring it back. If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you hit subscribe and join the little family. And if you want to be notified of any videos that may be coming up in the future, and I do have a lot of videos that will be coming, be sure to tap the notification bell down below and you will be notified each and every time. Be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.